Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Two Montana men wrongly convicted in the 1994 murder of waitress Donna Marr outside Helena have filed federal lawsuits against former officials from 3 counties and the state.
Fred Lawrence and Paul Jenkins were released from prison in 2018 after DNA evidence proved that David Nelson had robbed and killed Marr. Among the defendants in this case, former Jefferson County Sheriff Tom Dawson and former Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Chuck O'Reilly, whose offices jointly conducted that investigation. Now, both men were facing re-election at the time, so attorneys for Lawrence and Jenkins now argue that placed political pressure on the sheriffs to make an arrest.
In 1999, the nephew of David Nelson told Ravalli County deputies that his uncle had confessed, but authorities didn't act for another 17 years when Nelson's nephew told the same story to Dillon police. Lawrence and Jenkins do not specify damages in their suit.
A Missoula man is behind bars tonight after he allegedly threatened to shoot and kill people at the Ravalli County Fair.
The suspect denies making those threats, however. Local law enforcement arrested him for felony intimidation. MTN's Kent Lutzen reports.
Austin Jace Fugelberg is charged with felony intimidation after he threatened to endanger and kill people at the Ravalli County Fair. According to court documents, law enforcement spoke with Fugelberg on August 16th after he told his social worker, quote, "If you see me on the 10 o'clock news for shooting a bunch of people, I'm sorry." A few different people reported Fugelberg's threat, some of those being his coworkers here at the town pump in Lolo. He told them he was going to kill people until he was killed himself. Fugelberg said he was intoxicated when he made these comments. He then later admitted to having some mental health issues. He was sent to St. Patrick's Hospital to be treated for severe alcoholism. However, according to court documents, he never received a mental health evaluation. After consulting with Missoula County Sheriff's Office and with help from the Montana Highway Patrol, he was later arrested for felony intimidation. The Ravalli County jail roster shows Fugelberg being held on a $50,000 bond. In Ravalli County, Kent Lutzen, MTN News.
Well, as violent crimes increase across the state tonight, a new report ranks Billings Montana's least safe city. That report by backgroundchecks.org uses FBI statistics to examine the 6 most populated cities in Montana and finds the state as a whole ranks somewhere in the middle of the pack across the U.S. Montana law enforcement is already on the fight to stop meth-related violence. Project Safe Neighborhoods and Yellowstone Substance Abuse Connect Coalition are active programs aimed to prevent the demand for meth by increasing prevention and treatment. But Billings continues to fight drug-related crimes such as stolen property and car thefts, all the way up to officer-involved shootings. Now take a look. Backgroundchecks.org survey ranks Kalispell and Bozeman tied for the state's safest cities. Great Falls in 3rd place, followed by Missoula and Helena 4th and 5th, and Billings, the state's largest city, scored as the most crime-ridden city in Montana. Now that data surveyed 7,430 cities and filtered out the cities with a population of less than 10,000. The violent crime rates were calculated by taking the crime rate by population and factoring in the number of law enforcement. The higher the number, the more safe the city supposedly is.
Well, with the trade war hurting many Montana farmers and ranchers, Montana U.S. Senator Steve Daines is heading to China next week, saying he wants to bring the voice of Montana ag to ongoing trade negotiations. In a statement, the Republican senator said, with agriculture being Montana's #1 economic driver and with China being the 2nd largest beef consumer in the world after the U.S., it is critical that the voice of Montana's farmers and ranchers have a big seat at the table during these negotiations. Daines says long-term solutions are key to Montana ag and that a deal needs to be reached soon. He'll be in Billings tomorrow to speak at the Montana Petroleum Association annual meeting.
U.S. Senator Jon Tester getting some recognition today for trying to help bring more doctors to rural America. The Billings Clinic Board of Directors honored Tester for his efforts to support physician training in rural communities. Tester's Restructuring Rural Residencies Act was incorporated into an administrative rule change that allows Medicare to make reimbursements for time residents spend in training at critical access hospitals. Now, those are hospitals with fewer than 25 inpatient beds. The Billings Clinic calls the legislative change a positive step to encourage physicians in training to learn more about communities and opportunities that rural America offers.
Well, despite its already well-known clear waters, Flathead Lake still holds its mysteries, and now a lone submarine is giving scientists an inside and in-depth look into the bottom of that iconic lake. This will allow previously unexplored parts of the lake to be examined in brand new ways. The submarine even has exterior arms that can pick up and collect samples from the lake floor. It's pretty cool.
Turning to weather tonight here in eastern Montana, Bob, you've got good news on the fire front.
Yeah, we've been getting some showers off and on across much of Montana, so now the fire danger threat is starting to go down a little bit. It's still up there in some cases, but let me show you the good news here. We start off with our fire danger map tonight. Down in the southeast corner of the state, we still have some very high and high fire danger there, but the good news here was that it was all very high, especially by Crow Agency, and so they have told us that now they've lowered it down to just high instead of very high. But look at the central part of the state. Generally low to moderate fire danger there. We still have some issues out in western Montana, in the southwest and the northwest, and also up there by Glasgow. But outside of that, things are starting to improve. In the Billings area, where our fire danger is still high to very high, so please still be very careful with fire when you're outside. Let's go back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Bob.
Well, business is booming for a new sandwich shop in Billings, so the local owner is now opening a second spot.
Top Sandwich Company will open Tops 2 just off Shiloh near the Grand Avenue roundabout here in Billings. Now, the owner is using this grand opening to give back to the community.
The eatery will donate 20% of its revenue on special days to community groups and organizations. On Thursday, that revenue goes to the Billings Rotary Club.
And I also really want to thank the community for your support. We are seriously only here because of your support, and we will continue to give back into the community and keep investing into the community moving forward. We always try to give back to the community as much as we can because we know we're only here because of the community. They're a huge reason why this brand has taken off and been successful.
Well, that new location also features a drive-through and will start delivery services this Sunday.
Well, coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, amid massive fires tearing through the Amazon rainforest, Brazil is rejecting monetary aid. We'll find out the latest.
Plus, this bear has made its home in Missoula for the past 50 years, a celebration for the University of Montana icon.
And in sports, CrossFit is third on the list of life's priorities for Q2's Athlete of the Week, which just allowed her to finish fourth in the world.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.